This is interesting, because when it comes to the Detroit Red Wings, there have been a number of conversations amongst the fans and amongst the writers, the analysts, whom it is the Red Wings can target. Either via a trade or via free agency, whether or not guys could get bought out and use the extra money to get some other dudes or whatever. There's a lot that you can go out there and discuss when it comes to Detroit. They're kind of a mixed bag of things that need improvement all throughout the lineup. You can say the goaltending could be a bit better. You can say the forwards can be a bit better. You can say the defense could be a bit better. There are some younger guys that are making impacts, and that is obviously great. But a lot of extra names can be tossed around with the Red Wings, so why not combine the two? Young guys that the Red Wings could acquire that'll make their team that much better. Let's go out there and talk about one of the names that a lot of folks have been discussing recently. It was brought up by Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts. It has been discussed at length in various articles. We're going to dive into all of that in this video. Let's talk about Buffalo Sabres D-man, Bowen Byram. Because the latest from Friedman on 32 Thoughts says that, the Sabres are gauging the market value on Bowen Byram. He has recently changed his agent, and he is now represented by Darren Ferris. He would like a bigger role and more responsibility. The idea is that the Sabres have too many left-handed guys that happen to be young and happen to be talented. Dahlin and Power are technically ahead of Byram on the depth chart. Byram was playing right side D with Dahlin, and you can see folks kind of saying, yeah, this guy was just riding the coattails of Raz, and he wasn't really driving his own pairing. He didn't really do much outside of that, etc., etc., etc. I'm still of the belief that Bowen Byram can be a number 1, number 2 D-man in the NHL. I saw too much of this guy with the Vancouver Giants in 2018-19 to be convinced otherwise. And with him having actually pretty good results with the Buffalo Sabres when Rasmus Dahlin was injured this year, I do think that number 1 pairing potential still exists in this guy and his frame, and he might just be looking for an opportunity to exploit that talent on another team. He does need a contract for next season, that Bowen Byram does, and the question is whether or not he'd be willing to commit to Buffalo, and if the Buffalo Sabres would be interested in giving him the amount of money that he would realistically want. He had just changed his agency and his representation, and when it comes to Darren Ferris, it is very known that he loves to take his clients down to the wire. Not really give too much room, not give too much breathing space here, just say, yeah, my client wants this, and we're not going to sign until we get this, and the team just kind of has to bite their tongue and inevitably give what the agent wants later on. But in this situation, it does seem like Bowen Byram is on the trade block and is in a position where he can get moved. Now, there was an article published by Adam Gretz from 2 days ago on BleacherReport.com talking about 6 trade landing spots for Bowen Byram amid NHL rumors. We're going to leave this article in the description because the Detroit Red Wings are indeed listed as a destination here. Let's read what Gretz writes about. At some point, GM Steve Yzerman has to start feeling some pressure in Detroit, especially as the team's biggest weaknesses continue to go unaddressed every year. One of those big weaknesses is their defense, as well as their overall inability to prevent goals and control play during 5-on-5 situations. They have 2 outstanding young D-men in Seider and Edvinsson, but those 2 alone are not going to be enough to carry the D. More help is a must. And Byram would be a perfect fit that could not only be an immediate upgrade in the short term, but also still be at an age where he can continue to get better and grow with their young core. The Red Wings ranked 26th and 24th in 5-on-5 goals scored percentage and expected goal share during the season, and need to improve both areas if they are going to snap their postseason drought. Byram could immediately help both areas. Seider is the only Red Wings D-man under contract beyond 25-26. Edvinsson is an RFA. So they not only need the short-term help, but the potential long-term help too. The big question is what sort of offer it would take to convince Buffalo to trade Byram within the division to a team that would be, in theory, competing with them for a playoff spot to end 2 of the longest droughts in pro sports. Byram with Seider. That sounds great. You can have a 1, 2, 3, 4 of Byram, Seider, Edvinsson, Johansson, and I think you're set for the next 7 to 8 years if you keep it going with that list of guys. I kind of like it. I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments whether or not you feel the same. But that cost, that is the big bad wolf of this situation. Who knows how much it's going to cost to get a guy like Bo Byram onto the team, and whether or not it would actually be realistic for the Red Wings to think about giving up in a trade. For all this, let's dive into some of the comments that were posted onto the Our Detroit Red Wings subreddit, because this was also posted there. It was the Elliot Friedman report on Bowen Byram and his representation. Some of the comments go out there and ask, hey, is it really worth it for the Wings to get this guy? Well, Resner Wing says, only if you can get him cheap in both contract and acquisition cost, which I doubt. His underlying metrics last year were some of the worst on Buffalo, which says a lot. I know people on the Buffalo sub who hope someone takes him off their hands and pays him too much, as he is going to potentially crash out badly at some point during his new contract. Realistically, I would fall in the pass group for this player. Now, I straight up disagree with this. I do like more of what he brings compared to what a lot of folks will go out there and debate about. This is what DJ Dickno says. Sabres fan here. There's mixed feelings about Byram. He looked great, eye test-wise and analytically, when he was paired with Dahlin. He looked bad analytically when taken away from Dahlin. Obviously, Dahlin makes anyone look good. But how much of his struggles away from Dahlin were because Byram isn't good as advertised, or because he was paired with garbage D-men? A team will overpay for Byram. He is young, produced well, and skilled as all can be. Whether it's Buffalo dangling shiny keys or a team that believes they can unlock his full potential remains to be seen. Detroit doesn't seem like a good trade partner because Detroit doesn't have much of what Buffalo would want in return, and the players that match that category are not getting moved. Now, this is it, man. Like, I still look at what Bowen Byram did when Dahlin was injured. The guy was producing and the guy was there. I get it. It was a very small sample size. Dahlin wasn't out for too long. But I do think that there is reasonable talent that exists in this guy's profile. The reason he'll get overpaid is because he still has that potential. And I get that folks can be pessimistic on the guy, but I don't know, maybe I am just in a more optimistic spot to cheer for a guy who is from BC. By the way, he's from Cranbrook, BC. You know who else is from Cranbrook, BC? Steve Yzerman. Literally, like, that is the easiest connection that we can go out there and make between Bo Byram and the Detroit Red Wings, is that both the player and the GM are from the same town. Very small town in Cranbrook, BC. It's so far out that it's almost Alberta, and they've got a population of 20,000 people. I mean, it's totally a likely destination to find NHL caliber hockey players, but anyways, with that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the idea of a potential Bowen Byram trade with the Buffalo Sabres for Detroit? Do you think it's actually something worth thinking about? Do you think it's possible? Do you think the Red Wings have the assets that the Buffalo Sabres would want? And if you're a Sabres fan, what exactly would those assets be? We know the Sabres are on the cusp of yet another phase of the rebuild, because they never seem to be getting that done. But Red Wings young guys seem to be off limits at this point. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel about Detroit and Bowen Byram? Is this a realistic trade idea? Is it not? Where can you see Byram getting traded to instead? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.